Area Code, brought to you by Mabati Rolling Mills.
Get CoverMax. It's more than just a roof. It's color that lasts with advanced color technology.
Lete mtadisa kujenga, chakupeleka kwa dila wa MRM.
Ukiweka, umeweka. CoverMax, a quality product from MRM.
This week's episode of Area Code heads to Meru County, a place well known for its rich culture and insightful history.
This is Garu in Kimeru. You know, I'm Mzee wa Njorincheke for the last 10 years. So this is Garu, whereby you invite those elders. Like you today, I will invite you because I know you have already dined with the elders, and therefore you can be invited into Garu. That's what Kikuyu so called the Ngira. So when we are with Oases in the evening, the neighbors, we get in here, chat a bit about politics, about economy.
We'll be looking at an estate that was constructed by the Kenyari Insurance Corporation 30 years ago, and whose sale was nothing but expensive.
Those days, the prices of 1 million shillings were unimaginable. I could buy a house comfortably in Buruburu. I could buy a piece of land in Karen comfortably. That time, Karen was going for 900,000, 1 million, 1.5 on the upper side. So now coming to buy a shamba here in Meru, it was exaggerated.
But exaggerated or not, people eventually moved in, turning the neighborhood into one of a kind in Meru town.
Ukiniambia siku yenye utahama, nitakuruhusu. Lakini kama hujaniambia huwezi toka na vitu na ni zako, nitakurudisha. Mpaka kama ni kesho yake. Na hakuna lori kubwa FSR ama hizi zingine kubwa. Lori inastahili kukuhamisha ni karodi kadogo below 5 tons.
Why?
Kwa sababu hatutaki kuspoil barabara yetu.
Strict rules aside, the estate, popularly known as Kenyari, has tried to maintain its standards over the years. And the residents here will be the first to tell you that the cream of the crop belong here.
In fact, I may say it is who in Meru. We have judges, vice chancellors, doctors. I think everybody is here. In fact, he who wants to live in a serene, cool environment, pollution-free, security tight, and all that is here. And incidentally, all those who live here equally also have houses elsewhere. But once they arrive here, nobody wants to go out.
We kick off our Meru tour on Area Code by visiting the beautiful, clean and quiet neighborhood, also known as Forest View Estate.
The only thing I change here is the door only.
Retired Lieutenant Colonel John Gatobu is a man enjoying his retirement. When we caught up with him, he welcomed us to what he likes to term as an investment without regret. He bought this house in Meru's Kenyari estate nearly 20 years ago, a decision that he would later come to cherish. But at the time, John admits the deal was not as lucrative to him. It took a lot of convincing from a family friend to have him buy the property.
And jokingly, she was saying, tawenunua nyumba hapa. I told them I can buy a house in Meru. What for? Mimi ni Born City. That's what I used to call myself. So my wife insisted, my children were excited too. They wished to have a house, though not very keenly, because finally I ended up being here. So I bought the house.
His, just like all the houses in Kenyari Estate, is a 3-bedroom housing unit designed for single dwelling. The houses in Kenyari Estate were initially constructed in 1991. The developer was the Kenyari Insurance Corporation, who at the time heavily engaged in construction of various estates across the country. A similar project was built in Kisumu and Mombasa. Construction of the estate in Meru took up 25 acres of land space. 99 housing units were constructed in total. The mega housing project required the homes be sold on mortgage to willing buyers as a way for the developer to recover their money. But there was simply one problem. At the time, the houses were regarded as too expensive, and questions about the locality of the neighborhood also began to emerge.
But people are reluctant to come and stay here because of insecurity, and also there were fears that the estate may have been grabbed, may have been built on a grabbed piece of land, but it wasn't. We had to establish actually it was dingazetted from the forest by a minister called Lotondo some years back, and then they had to do the formal dingazetment and registration of this estate.
The sale price of the houses did not also make it any easier to find buyers. The cheapest of the housing units went for 1.6 million shillings. Other units sold for 1.8 million shillings, while the highest bid for the houses went for close to 2.2 million shillings. Prices that back in 1991 were almost considered astronomical.
Those days, the prices of 1 million shillings were unimaginable. I could buy a house comfortably in Buruburu. I could buy a piece of land in Karen comfortably. That time, Karen was going for 900,000, 1 million, 1.5 on the upper side. So now coming to buy a shamba here in Meru, it was exaggerated. And that's why it took that long for the prices to catch up, because I think they were rigid. The same prices even in Bogand Road, Kwarara Road, all those houses of Kenyari, they stagnated in price until the prices caught up with them.
The houses would stay on the market for more than a decade without any meaningful buyer. Back then, Meru Town was new to the idea of controlled developments.
It was a new estate, and the Meru people were not used to living in estates. And actually I also found it a bit queer because the area was not even fenced off. So there were wild animals. We were living together with the elephants here, baboons, and other wild animals. So we were fearing to come in here, but eventually we got used. And then people fenced off the entire estate.
But eventually something had to give, and the price for the homes was slightly reduced by Kenyari.
So they had to reduce by 200 each so that people can afford to buy. That money was quite a substantial amount that time.
The price they were selling that time were the same prices we bought. So, maybe, as you said, you never know. Maybe it was meant for us, not for the other generation.
Gatobu bought his house in 2002. The home feels vintage, as evidenced by the flower-patterned upholstery witnessed on his living room seats.
All the houses in Kenyari.
He has since slightly altered the internal structure of the home to fit his preference. But he says the house is pretty much the same as it was when he first bought it.
So this is the kitchen, eh?
This is our kitchen. Don't need it so much.
Yeah.
So you can see.
It was something decent, eh? For that time.
Nice. For that time it was good enough.
Yeah.
And it's good.
And then, so through the kitchen you get to the backyard.
Get to the backyard.
Yeah.
And this is our small backyard. Mumeru, that's something to show that you're a you must have trees and bananas.
And indeed, trees are in plenty at Kenyari Estate in Meru. Since its construction, the lush green environment has been home to more than 100 families who hide behind security fences away from the noise of downtown Meru. It's a life that is the envy of many from this area. From well-polished wooden floors to neat compounds, living here is for those at the highest echelons of Meru's social society.
In fact, I may say it is who in Meru. We have judges, vice chancellors, doctors. I think everybody is here. In fact, he who wants to live in a serene, cool environment, pollution-free, security tight, and all that is here. And incidentally, all those who live here equally also have houses elsewhere. But once they arrive here, nobody wants to go out.
They are, I would say, the top cream of Meru. We have got the senior county officers here. We have most of our senior judges are here. Principals and VCs of universities are here with their deputies. We have business people. Anybody who would feel secure, because when you are here, you'd leave your house, the way it is, the way you are found, and you find it the same way.
It's a sense of security that has earned this estate high praise among the residents of Meru town. And our focus when we return after the break is just how serious they take that security.
Kama huna ID huwezi kubaliwa. Hata uwe askari, hata uwe nani, lazima unitolee ID na unaenda kufanya nini huko. So ukiniambia kitu unaenda kufanya huko naweza kuruhusu. Kama kuna kitu kingi, ama kuna mfanyikazi lazima tuchukue details zake hapo, na hakuna mfanyikazi anastahili kutoka na kitu yote kutoka ndani. Lazima mimi nitaangalia, alafu nipigie mwenyewe simu. Nimuulize huyu mtu umemkubali atoke na hii kitu. So akiniambia mimi ndio nimemkubali, sasa nitamfungulia, haina shinda naweza toka.
We'll also be exploring whether a change of name to the estate by the residents has had any meaningful impact on how residency and accommodation is felt at one of Meru's most prime and pristine neighborhoods.
People call it site because in Meru they never used to hear the word site. Site is a construction site. So many people say, Nenda site. Nenda Kenyari, because they knew it is owned by Kenyari and it's a site. So the name, we created it.
You are watching Area Code, brought to you by Mabati Rolling Mills.
Get CoverMax. It's more than just a roof. It's color that lasts with advanced color technology.